Hello, me again. So my phone decided to cut out again, so I've deleted a whole load of things from it, so hopefully, cross fingers, this will be number 2, though we might go into number 3. We'll see if it cuts off on me again. 30-day challenge, envelope pockets are on with. So what I was trying to explain was, move that to one side a minute, is that you need to consider about the direction of your paper when you're cutting the bits out. So as you can see here, I've cut this one out now, and the direction of that is right, so that if I put my envelope in this way, flip that back, that's the right way up. The same goes with the one at the bottom. When the envelope's shut, I open it out, and that is now, the text is in the right direction. But we don't glue these in place yet, because we've got the magnets to consider. Alright, so I'm just going to put those to one side. So the outside, so I need to think about something on that one and something on this one as well. Alright, and so what I've done is I've actually got a newspaper, the New York Times, from December the 14th, 1939. I also chose these two images. So I'm going to glue these images onto the paper. And as you can see, I cut them out, and I've cut them out square. And I'll get the ruler in a minute and I'll measure one. And then I've rounded the corners. But I didn't ink. Oh, I did ink the edges. And I'm just going to sit that in the middle of the text. Okay, so I actually cut these out to be just fractionally below 4 inches. And I'm also going to do this one as well. Excuse me. I'm just going to place that in the middle of the text as well, but making sure that I've left enough of a gap there, because I want to rip around the edge of the paper. I don't want it square and all neat. I'm sorry, I've had to put the lamps on as well because the light is just beginning to go a little, so there might be a bit of shadowing. So there's one all ripped around the edge. And there's the other one. Alright, and I know then that they will sit onto my envelopes. Alright, but I'm actually going to ink around the edge of those papers. But again, I need to think about the direction of these, because if I sit my envelopes that way, that's fine sitting like that, but what I've got to make sure is that I don't put that one on upside down there, because it'll look silly. So that also needs to go that way on as well. Alright, but again, I'm not going to glue those in place just yet. So you need to get all those elements ready before we glue them in place, because as I say, we're going to do the magnet. Now the other thing that I've done as well is I've just used my Stampin' Up punch to create a little tab, so that if I put that image on the front, I'm going to put a little tab on the end there, which makes it easier to open up the envelope. How long have we done? Oh, 5 minutes, is that all? Okay, so let me just show you then. So I'm going to put all those to one side, because the third video I'm going to show you how that all goes together with the magnet. I think it's going to be easier that way. But let me just show you on the images that I've decided for the digital. There we go. So these are the sheets that I used from the digital kit. So I use those too. But again, it's got text on it, so I'd got to think about the direction. Also, even with the fruit, because if I'd cut that upside down, the fruit would be hanging upside down, and that wouldn't be right. So look at the direction of the text. Again, if it's an all over pattern, you don't need to worry about it. But I'll just go through the process again of how we did the envelopes. So I opened up both the flaps, closed this one over, and then sat it on top of that envelope so that it's up to the edge of the crease, and then close this one over, just give them a bit of a tap, flip it over, and just use the glue to just hold that flap in place. Now, as we noticed before, it moved, so I'm going to leave it shut just for the time being, and I'll show you the elements that I cut out. So one has to go one way, the other one has to go the other because of the text, and then those are the two squares that I'm going to have on the front parts of the envelope. So I'm going to do this one in this journal, opening up side to side. No, I'm not going to do top to bottom because of the way that I've done that. So I'm going to put that one on the front, and I've cut this so that I've got about 1/8 of an inch border all the way around the edge of the design to the envelope. And then when that flips up, you'll then see that image, and then when that flips down, you'll see this one here on the bottom, and the text will be the right way up, and then you'll see this one on the top, because the text will be on the top. And what I'm going to do in between that is I've already cut the paper that is going to slip inside of there. So I use some coffee dyed paper on this one and just slot it in so that you can see, because it just fitted in with the actual digital kit itself, which has got a bit of a vintage feel to it. And so I just thought that the coffee paper suited it nicely. So I don't know if you can see all of that. Just move you out of the way a minute. So that will be up there, and then that will be down there. Okay, so if you get to that point and then look at the next video where I'll show you how this now all goes together, including the magnets. All right, so I'll see you on the next one. See you in a bit.